and welcome to today's episode of The Daily Blend. I am your host, AC, and we are joined in studio today with Samantha Dent, who is the Director of Client Services for Accounting Plus Inc. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's just jump right in. We know it's getting toward the end of the year.
That's right.
Okay, what do people need to know? You know what they need to know, but we probably don't know.
Right.
Tell me.
Yeah, so it's the end of the year. People are getting ready for holidays, but that tax season's knocking at the door, right? Tax season's coming quick, and we're preparing. So our business owners, our individuals should also be preparing. What that looks like is making sure things are in good order, got your books done, got your payroll in good order, that you've thought about what your taxes might be because they're due in April, but most people want to know that now.
Yes.
So being proactive about that's important. Start gathering paperwork. If you have 1099s to issue to people, make sure you've got all that stuff. Make sure things are in good order, and start thinking about 2025.
Yeah. Because it's coming.
That's right. Less than 30 days.
Yeah, it's coming. Even when you don't want to think about it, or you're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's still coming, right?
It is. It always comes back for us too.
It does. So tell me what kind of services Accounting Plus, because I was under the impression one thing, but we just talked and
Sure.
You told me some stuff I didn't know.
Oh yeah, I would say our key points of difference, because most people know what an accounting firm does, right? They do payroll, they do books, they do tax returns, but we've got a little extra element to that, and that is our advisory, our strategy. Business owners, of course, want to have their payroll done on time and their bookkeeping, done, and their tax return done. We do all that compliance stuff, but what we add to that is advisory and strategy. So a business owner, of course, needs to get their stuff done on time, but what about that new location they want to start? What about their goals personally? They started that business hoping that it would bring some kind of freedom, and if it's not doing that, we need to have a conversation. We also offer coaching for business owners, because there's just a lot of questions. People have resources, but not always the right kind of mentors to give that kind of information to. Plus, although we're your accountant, we are a little bit like a therapist in the way that we know a lot about you, right? We know what kids you're having. We know, how much you spent on this and that. And so we kind of know you. Your books kind of tell a story. So you get to know us pretty good. So that's one of our points of difference, is we offer, answers to questions when you have them, advisory, strategy, future growth, thoughts, because most business owners are visionaries. They know what they're thinking and why they started that business, but they don't necessarily know if they're in good shape, that kind of stuff. So we offer those conversations, those answers. We have a full team. We've been in business 32 years, so we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you're talking, I'm like, yeah, she's talking to me, because you're right. A lot of business owners are visionary.
Yeah.
And so as a visionary, you have the idea and you're, oh yeah, way out there. Yeah, I can see it. But the steps to get there,
Exactly.
It's a little different.
Exactly.
It's a little different.
Yeah.
I struggle with it.
For sure. And when you first start, you think, I'll do that. I'll run the payroll myself. I'll do the books and QuickBooks myself. But really, that's good to start out so you know what's going on. But I think pretty quickly, that's way too many hats to be wearing. And as you can afford it, I would say outsource that. That's one of the first things to outsource. And usually accounting is a small percentage overall of your revenue. It's usually about 2%, which people don't realize that. They think, an accountant's so expensive. But 2%, that's not much of your overall expense.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's the headache that it will save you later.
Totally. Totally.
The headache that it will save you later. Because you start off doing it yourself. I can do it myself. I don't know if I can afford it. And I did say to you that for a small business owner who's been doing it themselves,
yes,
it is super scary to think about turning it over to somebody else.
For sure. That's very vulnerable.
You feel like you're a judge.
Yeah. Right. All the things, right? Where you're spending your money, how you've been doing it yourself. Yeah, but it's also freeing.
Yes.
I had a client yesterday that had never had us do the books, and we just got the books all caught up. He came in, we handed him a professional financial statement with all the numbers. He said, man, this is what I've been looking for, and walked out with that piece of paper. He's never had that. He usually turns in totals at tax time, and it's just a good feeling to be on top of things.
It really is.
You need to,
Yeah, and that's the thing, because deep down you do know.
Yeah, totally.
Deep down you know. You just got to jump over that hurdle of,
exactly.
That I got to be vulnerable.
Yes.
But to grow and to continue to grow,
exactly,
probably a good thing.
It is a good thing.
It's probably a good thing. Okay, what else for end of the year?
So for end of the year, there's just a lot of things to be thinking about, making sure that if you do the books yourself, that they're caught up. If you don't do them and we do them, that you've had a conversation with us about, what do these totals mean and how do they translate to a tax? Because if you have a big bottom line, big profit at the bottom, you probably owe a lot of tax. And whether you're ready for that or not is a big question. So we got to get you ready, right? And
Yeah.
there's things you can do. It's a little late in the season to be making big purchases or big changes, but there's still things to be done. There's also strategies like making your business an S corporation, which is a whole strategy. There's all kinds of strategies we can do to help people save money. And just knowing what all your deductions are. I think people tend to go, well, I don't know if that's a business deduction or a personal deduction. So there's kind of two tests that it has to meet. Is it ordinary and is
Okay.
it necessary? So is it ordinary to the industry that you work in?
Okay.
So a lawn care company shouldn't have certain kinds of expenses that a salon would have, for
Yeah.
example. Is it ordinary and then necessary? So did you have to have it to get the job done? You know, you can buy the big bad, Cadillac version of something
Yes.
if you need it. But if it meets those two tests, then it's deductible. Also, record keeping is really important.
Very.
You can write everything off that's deductible, but if you have no receipts and no records, those audits are brutal. We help with audits too, sales tax audits included. And they ask for a lot of detail. You don't figure that they will.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure you've got records. And that could be just a big box of receipts that's, in a nice box with the label on it that says
Yeah.
2024, and it just stays in one place.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about all it has to be, honestly.
Yeah, but you do need to keep those records.
You do.
Yeah, you need those receipts.
You do.
Okay, and now is it okay to snap with your phone? I know that's what people do
I think
now.
so, as long as it's easy to find that and it's
Okay.
in a nice digital record where you can get to it.
Yeah.
That's the challenge, is like you save it one place, and it's like if you have a method for that, some softwares offer that. Like
Yes.
QuickBooks, you can upload receipts and snap pictures and put them in there. That's perfectly acceptable as long as you can access them.
So not like my camera iPhone roll where there's like 30,000
Random.
pictures in there and it's like a receipt here, a receipt there. That's not
Not
that's
ideal.
not a good.
You might have to go hunting and pecking if the time comes, right?
Try to search for a receipt
Yeah.
like, at the
Yeah.
end of the year and see if you can find it. I'm just kidding, but I know that's the reality for some
sure.
small business owners for sure.
sure.
Well, wow! I thank you so much, Samantha, for
welcome.
coming to join us.
Thank you.
This is what a great conversation, and you made it entertaining and fun. I
Thank
love
you.
it. I love it.
Thank you.
That's why I know that you're probably good at like helping walk people through it without
sure.
that kind of intimidation factor.
For sure.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like
we've
it.
seen it all.
I would imagine you have. I like to have drinks with you for stories because I bet you have.
Oh, my goodness.
I bet you have. Thank you so much for joining
You're
us.
welcome. And happy holidays.
You too.